In this video, I'm going to talk to you about Halloween. Should our Christian kids go trick or treating? This is the big question. My middle daughter, Eva, is at kinder and she's been invited to the Halloween themed kinder party. So what do you do as a Christian parent? It's pretty difficult. I remember when I was a Christian kid and, Halloween's a tough one. You get to dress up in cool outfits, you get to go to parties, and then people give you, you knock on their door and people give you free chocolate and candy. There's a Americanization, commercialization for you, candy. I mean, what do you say to your Christian kids? Is it demonic? Is it evil? Is it inviting Satan in? I mean, all my kids are worried about is, can I go knock on people's door and get free chocolate, mum and dad? So what is Halloween about? And should we let our Christian kids be involved with it? You know what I think the main problem with Halloween and things like this is? It's Christian parents, but I'll talk to you a bit about that later. What is the actual background of Halloween? Let's actually get down to the truth here, because it's always better to start with the truth, not all the stories we've heard and the stuff that's come through movies or what some pastor told us in 1984 about Halloween. Let's get down to the facts. The facts are that Halloween actually stands for All Hallows Eve, meaning it's the day before All Saints' Day, which is a day where Christians, particularly Catholics, celebrated and commemorated Christian martyrs. So what a fantastic reason to remember those that have gone before us and died for the sake of the gospel. And it was as early as the 4th century that this tradition began, and Christian martyrs were celebrated on November 1st, and then All Hallows Eve, or Halloween, was the day before on October 31st. And it was Pope Boniface in the 7th century who officially said, let's set this day apart to celebrate Christian martyrs. So it's not a Christianization of a pagan holiday, but maybe there is some pagan loose roots. I mean, it could possibly be tied back to the Celts, who have a day called Samhain where they celebrate worshipping pagan gods and things like that. But if you look into the detail and the truth, these connections are very, very loose, and I don't think it's anything we need to run away and be concerned about. However, I do want to talk about the fascination with the supernatural. And you've got to realize with Halloween that people have an interest and are curious about things of the spirit realm, the supernatural, death or dying. And, maybe in a way it's actually the way that people and humans actually deal with the fact that death is so unknown and so horrible. And looking into the face of death during Halloween, looking into the supernatural, is a way of actually touching on those things. Black cats, witches, ghosts, pumpkins, all these kinds of things are people looking into this supernatural dimension. And we've got to be careful as Christians, and especially as Christian parents, not to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I mean, some Christian parents teach Harry Potter as the devil, and my children love magic. It's kind of dragons versus unicorns in my house. My oldest daughter is unicorns plastered on the wall, and my second daughter is all about dragons. Now, are dragons satanic? Because in Revelations 12, the devil is depicted as a dragon. Well, I don't know. My daughter thinks that friendly dragons are okay. So we need to not go over the top with these things and understand that our children are always going to be fascinated with magic and the like, because they are a spiritual being and there is a spiritual dimension, and how we handle that as parents is very, very important. Is there a satanic bit to Halloween? Well, not really. It is not a satanic holiday, although some witches and warlocks and whatever have used the day to mark it as their special day, but nothing official. Witches and pumpkins that are associated with Halloween, they've actually really just come from folklore and just gathered some interest over the years. Recently, we've had horror slasher films that have been made, and they've been tied to Halloween, so that kind of can throw us off the scent a bit and make the day seem about something horrible or horrific that really it isn't. But there was a big influence, a man named Jack Chick in the 1960s, who wrote a number of Christian tracts in order to witness to people, and he used Halloween to display these satanic stories, and they're quite sensationalized. For instance, one of his tracts was called The Trick, and it portrays a group of witches sabotaging Halloween candy, can you believe it? And performing incarnations that then they could provide these children to Satan to be human sacrifices. And these kind of Christian things and tracks and stories have kind of probably put a bad spin on the holiday and have created in the Christian parent an awareness and maybe to be careful, or maybe that this is a satanic thing. And yes, of course, we don't want to invite Satan into our homes, and I don't want to put my children under a spell, but I think we need to step back and take a more Christ-like approach to this. We must remember at the end of the day that parenting is training. This is the Deuteronomy 6 call to parents, is to train your children in the ways of God. And everything, including Halloween, is an opportunity to sit down with our children and train them in the ways of the world, in the ways of God, and create in them wisdom to be able to handle the things that they're going to have to tackle in their future as a young person, one day as an adult. The biggest problem I see with Christian parenting, and my wife and I often take families away from our church or other places to do retreats, and the biggest problem you see with Christian parenting is not this neglecting of their children or this teaching of wrong doctrine. It's in fact the fact that Christian parents are often too overbearing and parent from a position of fear and anxiety and superstition rather than from a place of trusting in Jesus Christ and raising our children up to not be there as helicopter parents until they're 45, but to release them into the world with Jesus Christ in their hearts and the power of the Holy Ghost to do great things for God. This is a great opportunity at Halloween to train our children, to teach them that there is a supernatural dimension, to teach them that there is an enemy and demons out in that spirit dimension, but greater is He, Jesus Christ, that is within them than he that is in the world. Jesus himself says in John 17, he prays that God would not take the disciples out of the world, but He would protect them in the world. And Halloween is another great opportunity for us to be in the world, to be at parties, to be letting our kids go out and play with their friends and trick or treat and get free chocolate, but teaching our children to be connected to their neighbours, to be connected to people who are celebrating at this time of Halloween, yet to always understand that we are different in the sense that we follow Jesus Christ. The Apostle Paul in Romans 12 implores us that Romans 12 verse 8 says, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. The idea of being a Christian is to be at peace with everyone, not to look down on Halloween parties or look at children trick-or-treating with disdain as if they're somehow demonic or possessed while we are holy, hidden away, recoiling in our houses. This is not the heart of Jesus Christ. Halloween can be a great opportunity to go to a party, to dress up, to connect with your friends, to stay in touch with your neighbours, and to connect with the world in a relevant way. It doesn't mean you're going to be demonized, and it doesn't mean that you're going to backslide, but every family should decide, and every parent should decide in their heart what you feel is right in God and how you're going to handle Halloween. I implore you as a Christian parent with your Christian kids, or youth leader with youth group, or grandparents or whatever, do not recoil away from things like Halloween that you don't understand. Do not put a demonic slant on things like Halloween that don't have a demonic slant, but explain to your children why. Why are we engaging in Halloween? Or if you choose not to, why aren't we engaging in Halloween? But let everything be an opportunity to train and talk with your children rather than just push down their desires to trick or treat or push away their questions about Halloween, what Halloween is. So I encourage you, sit with your children this Halloween. Talk to them about the actual history of Halloween as a great day of celebrating Christian martyrs. Talk to them about the supernatural, the spirit dimension, about death, about these kinds of things. And talk to them about being in the world while being not of the world. Being involved in the things with their friends and neighbours while always looking to be after Christ's heart. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for the 300 that are particularly supporting this stuff. Please like, subscribe, comment below if you've got any questions. And I want to link a little Halloween information sheet from access.org where I've taken a bunch of this information. Access do an amazing job in helping Christian parents be relevant in this time. Bless you.